fucking love drinking root beer water. It's so nice.
I don't know. I'd have to be really careful with that because, like, I wanted root beer in tea form, but root beer in tea form is awful. It's so thin.
Gotta stick with the classics.
Like black.
Oolong.
Yeah.
Green.
Irish breakfast.
Give me a London fog any day.
Maybe if they drank tea in the movie.
I don't think that would help.
It would have been
I don't
better.
think it would.
From the sounds of it, they couldn't afford it.
They were gonna have afternoon tea on the date, but they didn't. And I don't want to say any more because I was going to start going down a pathway that I want to save for like the actual conversation.
I hear that.
Hey, I'm a Joe.
I'm Ken.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dan.
And I'm the only one who did a weird voice
Sure
for
did.
that
I
intro.
wanted to, but I'm scared.
And we are the Rewinders. Rewinding movies to see if they still hold up. And this time, we shut it down. We bring it to an end. We close down the 4-part Christoper Reeve Superman
Quadrilogy.
Quadality, whatever. However that phrase goes, that series did not go out at, we'll just say it didn't go out at the high point. It kind of just fizzled out in the night, and no one cared. That series was not well taken care of. And let's just mention how it ended with Superman 4, A Quest for Peace. The seminal 1987 Superman movie.
Yep. That's what it was.
What was the quest for peace?
I don't
All
know.
in a nest,
Destroy all the nukes.
hurling them in the sun. That's the quest for peace.
Scientifically accurate.
So it only took up like 2 minutes of the movie.
Well, you take all the nukes away. Don't you know this? You take the nukes away, and everybody suddenly loves each other, and there's never any fighting, anything, and nobody will ever have differences again until some kooky bastard escapes from prison and decides to make a nuke by himself all over again. That's what happens.
Nuke person.
And in the film, the arms dealers just sold more nuclear weapons after Superman supposedly died.
So no wonder America loves him so much.
Nothing changed.
America
They
loves
were
this guy.
upsetty spaghetti for getting more business.
For those who have not watched this film, here's a quick synopsis. What's the name of the place that Superman?
Metropolis.
Metropolis.
There we go.
Metropolis is
Chicago?
Metropolis is still a goofy city where things are dumb. That didn't
Not as dumb as
change.
the opening of 3. The opening of 3 still haunts me and pisses me off.
That is true. It's not as dumb. We learn that Superman speaks other languages fluently.
Fluent Russian.
We learn that Superman can be bullied into
By
doing
children.
things for you
By
if
children.
you're mean enough.
Bullied by children.
And that Clark Kent might potentially be kind of horny.
You don't say.
And in the end, Superman wins against Big Nails dude.
Yeah.
McCavity?
Radioactive man.
He's McCavity.
Press on nails guy.
From Cats.
That's awesome. I had no
What
idea.
a wonderful way to honor him with long fingernails. His name was Mark Pillow.
His real life name or his movie name?
His real life name is Mark Pillow.
But yeah, did anyone see this as a kid?
Nope.
The only interaction I know about with this movie is somehow I know that Superman at one point threw nukes into the sun.
You hear two things from this whole quadrilogy a lot growing up, and it's the nukes in the sun, and it's flying around the world so fast he turns back time. Those are the two main things I remember. That's it.
Just start and stop on Superman's greatest feats.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the end, all I can say from my memories of a kid are that the bad guy, nuclear guy
Man.
or whatever, kind of remembered him a little bit.
Or was it The Simpsons?
Radioactive
Is
Man?
that Radioactive Man?
Radioactive Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a different character.
No, Radioactive Man is intentionally funny. The Nuclear Man is not.
Not.
I don't know.
The new sidekick, I sort of remembered him when I saw him pop up. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that kid.
I thought it was just... Oh, wait, that guy. I thought there was Otis actually in the jail. Ditched him in the jail
ditched
again.
him,
No,
yeah.
it's just another
Yeah,
prisoner.
Otis is
He
gone.
just
Why
looked
not?
like Otis.
I would have. I sort of remembered Clark Kent and Superman being sick.
Yeah, we get to see him with cancer briefly. like not even 10 seconds.
It's just that it was just small pieces. No coherent story or reason of anything. Just a tableau of, oh yeah, that. Huh.
Oh, look.
Fair.
It's one of the plots. Oh, the plot's gone. Oh, look. It's one of the plots. Oh, the plot's gone. Oh, look. It's one of the plots. The plot ended. The movie's not done yet. Huh.
Now, are they going to have tea?
Nope, they're gonna have Duck.
And they didn't even have Duck.
So we've watched these in such a haphazardly start, stop, rapid succession. I can't remember. When did Martha die?
Why'd you say that name?
Was that in the last movie?
No.
Okay.
She died somewhere in between. Her character did not die on film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He just ends up at the farm and it's for sale. And I'm like, oh,
Where's Ma?
what happened?
Right?
Yeah. Where's Ma? Yeah.
Hey, plot point that never gets resolved.
I see that's one of the biggest
Not
complaints. about
entirely
this
certain
movie.
what was going on with that.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of plot holes.
I'm sorry that you have to be told that things like you're going to die and there is no tooth fairy. I didn't know this movie had to tell you things like that.
Yeah, I should.
That's fair.
I should have known.
About 3/4 of the way into the movie, I was thinking, why is this that intro scene even there? Nothing's really. And then he pulls out the green out, like, oh yeah, okay, that's right. You know, right about when he's.
You mean the same green crystal that he pulled out of the same pod that he used to make the Crystal Fortress? Yeah. Why is it back in the pod? Where'd the pod go? Why did the pod just disappear?
Well,
I thought he threw it, but
it's a MacGuffin, and they did that well. They just, hey, you remember where his ship was and where he got the crystal? Let's do it again. Do it again, because you remember that, don't you?
Why wasn't it at the
Fortress of Solitude?
Yeah. Why did he hide it 1 foot under the ground, where anyone could find it?
I think they didn't have the budget to recreate the Fortress of Solitude.
I don't know. Reasons for them to go back to Kansas and establish that she died without actually talking about it or having any impact on Clark, I guess. I don't know.
It's weird. You usually think that like one of those things of storytelling is that you don't call attention to something unless it means something later.
Right.
What did it mean?
That means that he's got a green stick now.
Yeah.
It also works to set up and remind you that Clark Kent is a nerd and can't do anything, but he's secretly Superman and can hit a ball real far.
Oh, fair point. Fair point. Yeah. He will not budge on his morals. He said, that is how I'm going to do it, and he sticks to it. He tells that realtor no.
Because he's a Boy Scout.
Yep.
The biggest Boy Scout.
After he hit that baseball, all I could think about was a few scenes before when a satellite came out of nowhere and just slammed into that cosmonaut, and then he saved him in a very slow way.
Shit in space is moving so fast. That man would have been pink dust in space. Not mist, dust. Because it would freeze so fast. Oh my god. I'm peeking really badly.
I will not have you be upset at that moment. That was the funniest, best part of the film, was watching that cosmonaut get biffed by a satellite.
That was the funniest? How about Nuclear Man and Superman falling off of a building, tumbling with some really shittily underwhelming music playing in the background, like just drums going dum, 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 as they're struggling and fighting in midair. And then they do a clip art, like turn of Superman's body, and he goes, oh! I had to actually record that, and then I watched it back 6 or 7 times in disbelief, and I'm like, this was a major film. What the hell is this? It's like they literally just took a still image of Superman while the rest of the entire scene was moving and flipped his body angle to make it work for that shot. And everyone I showed on my phone couldn't believe it. They're like, what is this?
It's a major motion picture.
Oh my god.
After hitting that baseball, all I could imagine was when I saw it in space later was that the cosmonaut would be magically back working outside of the space station again and then get biffed by the baseball.
That would have been hysterical, and I'm sad that they didn't do that.
That's a major misstep for this movie.
Yeah, There's not many of those in this one.
No
Not
missteps.
Really. No, they did
They
it
did a
all
good job.
real well.
They did a really good job here. I guess what happened was the studio had some major financial issues,
Major.
like major ones. They just scale things back tremendously.
Really?
I think the original plan was 36 million, and they bumped that down even like 17 or something stupid. I can't
Yeah,
remember what I
they
read.
cut it more than half. It was a lot. It was a lot of money, and they had already filmed a bunch of shit, which is why we had him being sick.
I think my favorite thing that I read about the production too is the fact that for the United Nations scene, they wanted and begged and pleaded to be able to film outside the United Nations. Because it's such an establishing shot for that scene, and it's so ingrained in everyone's mind what the building in real life looks like. And they likened it to the first movie. Richard Donner would have had extras, hundreds of them on the street, cars, busy things going on with Superman walking down the street into the United Nations. That would have been the scene that they set up. With the budget constraints and the cuts and everything that they had and no support, they were forced to shoot in front of that industrial complex or whatever the hell they shot in front of. And it's dead. There's nothing going on. There's nobody there. There's no cars. It's just, oh God. It's just set back by so many financial woes, this movie.
I'd prefer that, so at least I don't have to like pay attention to it, rather than like a bustling area, like putting it in Times Square or something. Be like, that just simply isn't right. There's too much going on here.
We already had our Times Square shot of Gene Hackman talking to Superman from his personal only you can see and hear me video screen.
Was he on the video screen? Is that just imagination? What?
No, it's on the video screen. He's like, only you can hear me, and blah, 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 blah.
Look to your left. Oh, you know exactly where Superman is, who's currently Clark Kent, so interesting.
He's the smartest man on the planet.
He
of
is the
course
smartest
he
man on
knows.
the planet.
Stable
He's so smart, he
genius.
invites a
I
man
love
to his
having...
house. Yeah, he invites a man to his house that should be in prison, which he could have deduced very quickly, knowing, hey, aren't you supposed to be in prison? But he's standing there with a martini glass, and he's like, okay, no, I'm just going to listen to you talk. You're a vile scoundrel. It's that stupid 60s Batman shit I was talking about again. Like, it's not serious. If it was serious Superman, it'd be like, Lex Luthor broke out of prison. I should go get Lex Luthor. No. I'm going to fly to Lex Luthor's house, and we're going to have this squabbling talk about something, and then something goofy will happen. Done. It's just, there's no seriousness. It's like they just scraped the bottom of the jar for comic book scenes and then translated them into film without changing or updating or modernizing anything that they were doing. It's like what, the 80s, and like let's make something. It's like Superman 3. It's like Superman 3. It's like, what's the worst thing a bad Superman would do? Oh, he'd go straight in the fucking Leaning Tower of Pisa. He'd go blow out the Olympic torch. That's evil. That's dastardly. That's something that, your grandpa would say is evil. Something that would have really upset him back in the 30s or 40s. I don't know. It's outdated.
And maybe still upset him today.
They had the opportunity. The new sidekick wrangles up two police officers, traps them in a car, and drives them off a cliff. But then they climb out of the hole, and you hear like a wah, wah, wah,
and they're coughing
kind of thing. And it's like,
soap.
wow, okay, now we know no one's going to get hurt or anything
They're
here.
trying really hard to keep it PG-13.
Yeah. Like even when Nuclear Man comes to town and starts blowing up the streets and everything, Superman just stands there and says, "Stop! They're people! They're people!" Buildings, flames everywhere, cars just tipping over. Nobody's in the cars. They're empty when they flip over. What's he gonna do? Oh, he does a goofy thing with the SWAT team van and makes it spin on its nose. But the SWAT team's already out of it, so nobody's really in danger.
The cops that got hit with the radioactive beams just flew into the air.
Exactly, they floated. Everything's a mild inconvenience when it comes to Superman. That's what everything at stake is a mild inconvenience. That's all it ever is in these movies, and I can't stand it. It's nothing actually bad.
And then, just to top this off, though, James Gunn today came out saying that people who die in the DCU stay dead.
Yay!
Oh, I thought you were going to say die in real life.
No.
Die in real life. choose your roles accordingly. Yes.
He says that, and Superman's already been brought back to life in one of the movies.
I was going to say, he says that, but then 10, 15, 20 years from now, whenever Torch gets passed or he meets an untimely end or somebody else has to take over for some reason, or they don't make money and they decide to reshake things up again, there'll be a multiverse event or something will happen.
Everything that happens when DC's not making enough money, they just reboot the universe? What? Huh? What?
No, that never happened.
No.
Joe, as our resident volcano expert,
Okay.
would taking the top off a mountain and putting it into the caldera of a volcano work?
That's how bad this movie is. I forgot that scene even happened.
Right?
I'll correct you on your terminology. That is not a caldera because the volcano did not blow its top yet and collapse down. So it's not a caldera yet. It is still actually, I don't know what the term is for that nice pointy peak volcano. But you are correct. That is a dumb thing to do because what you're doing is putting a stopper on, which will help build pressure and will eventually blow the top off
Superman
of it
killed
again,
all those people.
and
Oh, God.
create shrapnel. Hello, podcast passengers. This is Joe, your editor and host. I am not an actual volcano expert. Thank you.
He created a ticking time bomb and killed all of those people in that Italian town.
He slowed the lava flow, gave him plenty of time to get out of there, and then decided to just be like, hey.
But that's just it. It's another
Save
another
the day and
mild
then ruin it.
inconvenience, damn it. The problem is you show Superman fix the problem after he does something stupid. Every damn time. The last movie it was, I'm gonna tear a hole in the side of an oil tanker just because I'm mad and I'm raging out for some reason. Oh, I'm gonna come fix it. Now people are clapping because I saved the day. It's this one too. Mild inconvenience of slow moving lava in the middle of the street, not touching buildings, no pyroclastic flow, nothing else killing people, just some slow bubbling lava. Oh God, we can't stand in the streets or drive our cars. Here comes Superman, puts a fucking mountain on top of a volcano, and then what does he do? He goes back over by everybody else by the actual issue, the mild inconvenience of the lava, and he freezes it with his ice breath. Why couldn't he just do that to begin with instead of lasering a mountain? If he can just breathe on lava and stop it, that was the issue. That was the immediate threat.
Just reform the rock layer that Radioactive Man had melted with his whatever. Just reverse that. It's fine. You can do that. You're super. But no, he wants to do some advanced terraforming here.
I guess. I knew I was going to get worked up about this movie. I just knew it. It's been a long time.
Well, you'd be glad to know, I believe that was supposed to be Mount Vesuvius over, not Pompeii, but the actual modern town. And if that's the case, that's not the volcano to worry about when you're in the area. It's the one that you can't see that you need to worry about because it's partially underwater. And if that one would go off, a lot of people are going to die. So, mild inconvenience of Vesuvius, meh.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for the other mountain.
Still works. I am curious, though. He cut the top off the thing and he picked it up and it just looks, it's a nice smooth. I am wondering how smooth a mountain is through and through like that.
No, when you use high-powered lasers.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I'm really curious what that, like, yeah, you got to assume it's correct. Like, it's just one giant chunk of rock, but that is wild to think about. It's a lot. It's big. It's real big.
Well, we had a super person who could just go wah, 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 and make people float independently. And then somehow Superman did the reverse wah, 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 wah. That when did Superman get, I'll guess I'll call it telekinesis?
I was wondering that. When the hell did that get established? He just looks at them and thinks with his eyebrows and they come back down. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Superman always gets powers. He's like the bat belt of superheroes. He just happens to have the right superpower.
Yeah.
That he just learned.
That's good.
As he's doing it.
What is that, Kitty Pryde? Does Kitty Pryde absorb people's powers? Or who is it from the X-Men that does that?
Rogue.
Rogue, thank you. Rogue,
yep.
yeah, Rogue.
Superman canonically has telekinesis.
He does canonically, yes, but they did not actually establish that. So just jumping out of nowhere to him looking at these people and bringing them back down, it's like, what's this new fresh hell he developed? I don't know.
I mean, he's got time traveling powers, man. Like, what are you gonna do?
No, he didn't time travel. He flew around the world so many times in such a quick succession that it spun it backwards somehow and made things go in reverse.
I'm pretty sure what the movie is saying is, if you get cancer and you survive, you will get telekinesis.
Oh, that's dark. That's dark, Ken.
Sorry,
I want to know what would happen if he got scratched again after taking that medicine. That's all I could think about is next time he sees him again, like, what's stopping him from scratching him again? Get one more and you're dead. That's it. You had your one dose, you're done.
I watch far too many goofy haunting TV shows because they're hilarious. And I noticed that the bad guy scratched him with 3 scratches, and I'm like, oh God, he's a demon because of 3, so he's mocking the Trinity. Oh no.
Okay, I believe you.
So conical, that guy's a demon.
I'm willing to accept that.
Mr. Pillow is a demon.
Mr. Pillow.
Pilgor is the destroyer. He's a goat.
For as jank as the flying and fighting was, I would say it's quaint. It reminded me of like high schoolers trying to make a movie with people flying.
Yeah.
With today technology.
I don't know. I
maybe college kids without a budget.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big points of contention with this film was the special effects were just
the effects in general.
Bad.
I mean, I looked it up because I wanted to know if I was potentially just being too harsh. I don't know. In terms of the people who talked about the movie and having seen it in theaters, they said it was just as comical. They lost their shit laughing when they saw them flying belly first towards the screen every single time and things like that. So I don't know. I was willing to accept like it's a product of its time, but even then it's like the other ones did it so well, or did it better than this at least.
I was going to say the other ones, especially the first one, and was the way at least Superman flew looked good for whatever green screen, whatever other stuff they did. His actions of turning and twisting and all that stuff made everything look kind of nice, even though the technology itself was rather basic. Mm-hmm. This time round, it looked like, yeah, just get on the strings, go. Just go at the camera.
Exactly.
And there's no turns and twists. There's no moving with the momentum that he's traveling in. It's just arms straight out, maybe a little bit of rocking.
I'd say he's doing the best he can.
And again, chucking women to their death and going,
how about that? How about that scene
fine.
where he lets Lois fly? That was another special effect. Scratch my head at. She's not
he
dead.
Jumps off a building with her first.
Yeah.
Jumps off a building knowing that she thinks she's going to die.
Yeah.
She goes along with it for some reason. Then Superman shows up and then he drops her again. Like, how does she not have trust issues with this guy?
I picked up on something with that sequence that did not make me feel good.
What was that?
Lois Lane, they wrote her to kind of suggest that she has some like memories peeking through, even though she may not accept them normally. And that got me thinking because Superman did this rather quickly, like he's done this kind of thing before. And I started wondering,
oh no,
how many times has he wiped Lois Lane's memory so that he could have a Superman moment with her again?
I wasn't thinking about that. Good God.
That is the implication, is that he's doing this often.
Oh,
yes.
No.
But also, I got the feeling like she said she remembered everything. Is she pretending like she doesn't remember just so she can keep this whole charade going?
I don't know. That was my first thing I thought about when the movie started. Is I'm so sick and tired of this shit with Lois Lane and Clark Kent. I don't have any energy left to invest in it, and we're already on movie 4. I'm just done.
It would be a hell of a story if she's just like going along with it and Like, yeah, we can't be together, but for these fleeting moments, we can do this, and then I'll go back to pretending like none of this ever happened.
Can you imagine if they did that in like a TV show or something? Like, spend like 3 seasons or 4 seasons of the will they, won't they bullshit, and then they finally get together, and then they realize, oh, we can't do that, and then they have some sort of weird memory lapse thing. They get in a car accident, and then they have to rebuild that relationship again at some point.
You would love every minute of it.
Some aliens come down and wipe their memory.
You would love every minute of it.
Of what?
What you were just talking about. You would love it.
No, I would not. I would not love that. No, I would not.
Although, I mean, the idea that Lois Lane is in on this is intriguing because of the double date scenario going on around the same time, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that she was in on understanding that she was trying to keep Superman Clark Kent moving as fast as possible. So she would have been trying to sabotage him so that he couldn't get back and forth. And it's a weird kink game between them to involve another lady. And that gets...
They can't upset the new boss. So they both got to kind of work together and get what they want out of this, but also the new boss has to do her... They can't upset her. They got to keep her happy. So, I mean, it's a delicate balance here. To go with the whole thing, she's not supposed to remember, so she has to continue pretending like she doesn't remember.
Yeah, it's fair. It's awful, but it's fair.
We can rewrite this into a comedy so easy.
I think I want to go back and rewatch this now with the idea that Lois knows everything.
And that Superman's a creep. Yes, yes.
Well, Superman is kind of a creep.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Of creep. How old was that child when he first arrived? They forgot to show the naked child video at the start of this movie.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, oh, they're not doing that. Okay.
I didn't want to see the video again. However, they didn't show it because at his old house, they had the crib with the base kicked out because Superman got sleep, got a nightmare and kicked out. He was way too old for a crib, was he not?
Yeah, way too old.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just one of the things I was
Just a
thinking.
continuity error.
I'm pretty sure that child was too old, but you know what? You guys do you. This is rural America.
Or like Dan said, a continuity error or, just plot holes, whatever you want to call it.
Let's take a break from the negativity and call out the one good joke from this movie. When Gene Hackman, when Gene Hackman and the new sidekick first start talking,
His nephew?
Gene Hackman says, his nephew.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman says, "I've always considered you the Dutch elm disease of the family tree." And that is just...
That's good.
Real good.
That's good.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It really felt like there
I'll say
were
about that.
there were bits and pieces of the various plots that I wish would have gone deeper. But obviously, A, they didn't film them because they didn't have money, and B, they didn't have money. So
Oh, no. What was it? I read that they had 45 minutes of footage that they had to scrap because of the budget and because of negative test screenings.
oh god,
that's why
so
the
they
movie
had
is so
more,
janky.
and it got
it
got
so janky.
scrapped. What got scrapped? Now I'm curious.
I don't know. I don't know. Because we got left with stuff that didn't get scrapped. Are you kidding me? This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they had to have an hour and 30 minutes, and they nailed it right on the money because that's how long the movie was. Exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes. They cut out exactly what they needed to keep it full feature-length movie. That's crazy.
Would Superman's, I'm going to call it Lego vision, count as telekinesis? When he looked at, that was rebuilding walls with his eyes.
What the hell is that?
That doesn't work. That was
What the hell is
pre-cancer.
that?
That's the telekinesis. Yes, at the Great Wall of China.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I almost fell. I was trying so hard to stay awake to this movie.
Lacey was in space. She's an astronaut now.
Yeah.
She beat Katy Perry to space.
She didn't have a helmet either. I was wondering how she's not dying. The whole time she's flying, I'm just like, how? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's Superman. Suspend your disbelief and move on.
She's been to space all sorts of times in the comic books.
Katy
They
Perry?
used to like
Katy
to...
Perry?
No, Lois Lane.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about Katy Perry.
Well, this wasn't Lois Lane, though. This was the lady that Lois Lane was trying to wrangle into a threesome with, Clark.
Oh, right.
Or
Okay.
Superman. Maybe it was a foursome. I don't know how that would even work.
Whatever they're
because
trying to do.
two of them are the same person. Unless he moves so fast that it's like quantum superposition.
I'm pretty sure it's only Lois who has any knows that she knows everything. Superman believes that he can still alter her mind. So it's really a sad story for Lois Lane.
It is. He's continuously giving her
Cancer?
mental roofies and wiping. Or yeah. Imagine Men in Black if, Jay was a creep and decided to just sleep with women and erase their memories or something like that. It's wrong. It's weird.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's pretty damn bad. But
It
I think it's
wasn't
bad
good.
on a technical standpoint.
I liked it better than I liked 2, and I really didn't like 2. Because I liked 3 better than I liked 2.
That's uncalled for.
Honestly, looking at reviews, I would flop the 10% fresh Rotten Tomatoes that Superman 4 is with Superman 2.
Wow.
That's saying something.
The only one in the series that I think really deserves the praise it gets is the first one. First one's great.
Yeah, first one's great. The only issue is what, the last 5 minutes we agreed?
Yep.
Like the last 5 minutes was okay, and then the goofiness of the armed guards next to the nukes. Just a couple of guys with machine guns. No, they didn't even have guns. They're just marching next to it.
And the subsequent ones were fine.
Yeah, first one's good. Had Marlon Brando.
I don't know, man. I got nothing else to say.
I guess we could just easily say we wouldn't recommend this one to people.
Nope.
I wouldn't.
Watch
No.
it. Complete the
No,
series.
don't
No.
do it.
You need to watch this in order to know how Superman
Do
returns.
you? Or watch the
That's
first one.
fair.
I have no
That's
idea. I haven't
fair.
seen
That's-
Superman Returns.
No. Actually, they ignore the events of 3 and 4, from what I hear. I can't verify because I got so bored and annoyed of Superman Returns that I shut it off. But I hear that they ignore the events of 3 and 4. So I think it picks up after 2. So they did the old what was the other series that did that?
Police Academy?
Oh God, I wish. No.
Star Wars.
Maybe it was Alien, like Covenant or something like that, or whatever came out. I can't remember what it was. Some
Didn't it just recently
movie ignored
Yeah,
3
was
and
the
4.
alien? Wasn't the just recent Alien film?
I don't know.
Hold on, there's an Alien series coming. Alien Earth.
Yes.
Don't ignore for Halloween 3. It's great.
Halloween, that was another one. Yeah, Halloween was one where they went back and ignored all the movies that happened after a certain movie. I think that's what I'm thinking of. No. Not what I said. Not Alien. It was Halloween. When Carpenter came back and they redid the movies, they actually went back and made it a sequel to Halloween 2, I believe, onward. So they erased and retconned the entire damn series. Because after that, what can you do?
Halloween 3 was a one-off anomaly because they had an idea
Yeah.
where they're like, we're going to have the first one dedicated to Jason.
You mean Michael Myers?
And then Michael Myers, which one? No.
Jason's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Halloween.
You're talking
Still.
Halloween.
No.
Am I talking
that's
Halloween?
My fault. That's my fault.
Maybe it was
Oh,
Michael
God.
Myers.
You were talking
Which
Halloween.
way's up? I'm confused.
Because
I
what
think
you're
it is
saying
Halloween
fits.
at 3 I'm thinking about.
Because what
though.
you're saying fits. Halloween 3 is the one where it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, and they have everything to do with
Exactly,
the
yes.
masks. They give out all
Yes.
those masks
I love
that
that
are
one.
I
embedded
love
with
that
something,
movie. It's
so
so
when
bad.
kids watch the commercial, it gives them
It
mind
is.
control.
Love it.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Halloween was supposed to be an anthology series. The first movie was supposed to be Michael Myers, and then it was going to be another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. But
Yeah.
the studio liked Michael Myers so much, they're like, wait, you're not going to bring back Michael Myers for 2? It was revolutionary what you guys did. So then they did Halloween 2 with Michael Myers. Then they moved on.
So they had to ignore Halloween 3.
Yeah.
So that fits.
Yeah, so, it would have been cool had they kept doing that, but that got shot pretty quick. But to your point, this conversation still technically works because the first Friday the 13th, it wasn't Jason at all. It was his mom. And then it turns into Jason from 2 onward. So there's all these cool little facets where they did something unique and then just kind of succumbed to, I don't know, laziness, or maybe not laziness, they just rested on their laurels. They're like, oh yeah, we found something people like. Keep that going for 9 movies, 10 movies.
It's more or less the people who put money up for it start dictating that they don't want to take risks.
Yes.
They just want the easy turnaround with what they see as being the profits.
Exactly. Something prints money, make it again.
Did they try to take a risk with this movie?
They did.
Because what they did was made anti-Superman, which was Zod, basically.
Yeah.
But they're like, we can't do Zod again.
Can't do
Zod
evil
had his
Superman.
neck snapped.
Yeah, can't have Superman fight with himself in a scrapyard.
Right, we've already done that.
I mean, they did let Christoper Reeve work on some of the ideas and some of the script. He was actually originally going to direct it too, but they basically realized he was too inexperienced and they brought someone in. So yeah, I don't know.
This reminds me a lot of like when I'm writing my D&D scripts. They end up all being basically the same thing. The only difference is I'm not charging.
Yeah.
For D&D.
Yeah. Just a reskin every time. Well, it was his idea, you know, the whole nuclear arms race and getting rid of nukes and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's a cool idea on paper, but as we've all discussed, what happens when you get rid of the nukes? It doesn't just change people's mindsets and attitudes towards things. They're still going to get in squabbles and fights over, you know, land disputes and things and possession and all this other stuff. Just ideas, morals, like everything's still going to have a fight. You can't just throw the nukes away and expect the world to heal.
Is that because this is a product of its time and people were so afraid of the arms race?
Yeah, no, we're past that now.
Having the demigod do a demigod thing by getting rid of the nuclear arsenals of all the countries in the U.S. or in the world?
Yeah.
I mean,
While another demigod shows up and gets sleepy when there's no sun.
Power down.
It is my voice now. Rah, 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 rah. So
That really is probably the... it definitely makes sense as the... how he gets the power, so yeah, it makes sense that he's not gonna... He needs the sun to keep his power. It definitely makes sense, but they sure did pick like a very vulnerable thing for him. Because he could have dropped him on the moon. There are creators on the moon that never see the sun ever.
that's what I was thinking he was gonna do.
Same.
Yeah.
But no.
This was 1987 before they knew about all the creators of the moon.
Oh, gotcha. Because Superman's never gone to space, you're right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I also really like that he grabs the moon and moves it in space. And it's like, oh, what weird negative effects are going to happen because of
That's all I
this?
could think about. Like, the tides are going to get fucked up. There's going to be tsunamis and everyone's going to die and the lunar cycle's ruined. Like, what are you doing, dude? You can't just move the moon.
As I said, I was having a hard time staying awake. I saw Superman starting to move the moon. I was like, did I just miss something? What is he? And then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
He couldn't figure literally anything else out with him trapped in an elevator with no sunlight. He's in a little box. He's in a little prison. You know, he's suspended by cables. He's flying him around. He's already got him imprisoned. You could figure something out. But no, let's go move the damn moon to make an eclipse and take everyone's sunlight away.
Superman moved the moon
just to continue the fight.
after Nuclear Man broke out of the elevator.
Yeah, but he's in space. Where's he gonna go? They could just kick the fight outside. There's I'm trying so hard to do mental gymnastics and think about a movie that doesn't deserve this thought. I don't know.
Nuclear Man pounded Superman into the ground, which would have effectively disabled Nuclear Man.
Yeah.
Just planting him in the ground, or at least for a few thousand years.
Yeah.
I mean, how was that effect? Go stand behind that hill and it's like the couch trick or the elevator trick. Or you're going downstairs
I thought
behind
it
a
was
couch.
fun.
I could have just put him in a room with Vanta Black.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I don't know if that would really work.
It didn't exist at the time.
But Kryptonite does.
Yeah, me watching this movie now, it makes me feel kind of numb. I laugh at things I shouldn't be laughing at. It makes me say, wow, it kind of sucks that was the last one for Christopher Reeve. But at the same time, yeah, it's time to put it to bed when your movies start getting like that. That's time to call it quits.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on to other projects.
I agree with you on that. However, I wouldn't stop somebody from watching this movie. It's a fine movie. It's really easy to pick apart. It's not going to be like the worst thing you've ever watched. It's not a terrible movie in the grand scheme of things. It's not a great movie. It's fine.
Yeah, again, I'd say it's a technically bad movie. Like, the technical aspects of the movie are bad, hit and miss. It's janky. It's not coherent. The plot's mediocre at best. What little there is. The effects are, holy shit, they're bad, but it's still watchable. The acting is still okay. You have Gene Hackman, he's still doing a Gene Hackman thing. You got Christopher
Got
Reeves
Chris
still pulling
doing
off
Chris things.
Exactly. So it's not awful.
You got Margaret back. She's doing her thing.
Jimmy's back even.
For like one scene, Jimmy's back.
Yeah, but it's a big scene. There's Jimmy. Hooray, Jimmy's back. But
2 scenes.
2 scenes.
Whatever.
Got to fill the Jimmy quota. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like other movies I've seen where the acting is bad, line delivery is awful and takes you out of the movie along with the shitty effects. Or there's other movies where the acting's bad and the effects are phenomenal. Or there's other movies where the writing is amazing and the line delivery is okay and the effects are shit. Like there's so many nuances to this, but this movie's just, to me, it's technically bad. You could tell that they're scraping up the last bits, trying to form something just to keep the IP going. And it suffers for that, unfortunately. Actually, I just read something from James Gunn now that we were talking about that. I love what he's doing with Batman. He said that it is actually his biggest challenge right now because he doesn't know what to do with it. And he said specifically something that I wasn't thinking about, and it makes total sense. When he took things over, you need to have the 3 tentpoles of DC. You have to have a Superman movie, you have to have a Wonder Woman movie, and you have to have Batman. Batman, even above Superman, is the most recognizable superhero in the entire world. Everybody loves Batman. There's a problem with that, and he said it. Everybody loves it, so they've already done pretty much everything, and they keep hammering that character with so much stuff over all the years it's been coming out. There has to be a reason for the character to exist other than just needing it to exist in the universe. And I love that take. So until he has a reason for Batman to exist in the new DCU or whatever he's doing, he's not just going to make a movie just to make a movie because you have to have Batman. He's trying to figure out how to fit him in and make it actually make sense as to why he's needed and necessary. So that's cool.
Or make it a new and interesting take. That's why with the Batman, the most recent one, they attempted to do more of the world's greatest detective Batman rather than the Wild Wild West beat you up with Batman. I don't know which one that is supposed to be.
No, it's a great take because, if you're not a gamer, if you haven't read the comics, if you haven't really looked at Batman outside of the movies or outside of the 60s show, you don't really get that vibe from him. Batman, the animated series, dealt with it perfectly. So do the video games, and so do some comics and everything, or the comics, obviously, but so do so many other things where Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective. You don't get that out of, I'm sorry, but not even the Tim Burton movies. I mean, you don't get him sleuthing. He's got cool gadgets. He's like a James Bond in a bat costume. But he's not actually a detective figuring and solving shit out. The only time you actually kind of see that is what? When he's looking at trying to figure out Jack Napier and the Joker in his lab, down the Batcave. Same with Batman 2 when he's down trying to figure out, all the stuff about the Penguin going on. So there's some good stuff with that, but then it just becomes a beat 'em up, like you said. So I'm excited to see if they pull that and rein that in because, that's what I loved about the Batman movie is he's a detective, damn it. He's doing good things and finding shit out that nobody else would be able to solve or figure out. That's supposed to be Batman.
Right. Normally when they do the detective stuff, it's usually just the Riddler doing some sort of corny joke, riddle type thing.
Or he has a gadget that solves a very quick thing and it's featured once. It's like, oh, there's a problem that I have to overcome. I have a gadget for that, essentially.
Yeah, specifically like rehydrating the world leaders in Batman 1966.
Or shark repellent.
Yeah, he's got a human rehydration station.
I can't add to these. I don't know many. I mean, the Batmobile shot a bike out of it once.
Ooh, it did. That was exciting.
Yeah, it did.
Because
reasons. Because at some point, Batman stopped being this enviable character that everybody liked because of his morals and because of his beliefs and his inability to waver from that. He knew who he was and what he was about. He was intelligent. He was charismatic. He was a damn good detective. And he just happened to have all the skills and the money to be able to pull that into something. Eventually, it stopped being that, and it started being, wow, how do we make this into action figures for kids? And then the movies had to start kind of being like that. And that's why you have shit in Batman and Robin, Ken, that just looks
I love
like
that
it's a
movie
damn
so
action
much.
figure.
It's so bad. Look, I understand that movie is awful.
It is. But
I
that's a good
still
awful.
love it.
It's a good awful movie. It's one that you throw on and just laugh.
It's so bad. Superman 4, the movie's so mid, we had to talk about Batman.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that's actually very true.
Not wrong.
Honestly, like that's the biggest problem. Is it's not that it's like I can look past bad stuff. Obviously, my favorite Batman is the worst Batman. It's not that it's a bad movie. Like I enjoy bad movies. I love Chopping Mall. As should be, if you listen to the Chopping Mall episode, you know I do. But this movie is not interesting enough to even like hold an attention for very much. And it could be a sign of the times. Like maybe I just spend too much time on my phone and I can't pay attention to anything anymore.
No, I think you guys nailed it before. I think there's too many things and too many issues with a coherent narrative going on in the background. So every time you actually let your guard down and get invested in the story fucking shifts or pulls 180 and you have no idea what's going on anymore.
I mean, a good point. The newspaper gets purchased by someone who's rich and just wants to make money.
Oh.
So they put hyperbole into everything, and everyone says the same thing. Aren't you worried about what's going to happen when you over sensationalize? Let's look outside, everybody. We changed the way news works, and now everything's over sensationalized in order for them to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see what happened. We don't need Superman 4 to not have a coherent storyline to tell us that that's bad.
Maybe the movie's fine and I just shut out the real message because I don't want to have to deal with focusing on that.
Yeah, maybe.
Radioactive Man was a superstar, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Well, that was us pounding the Christopher Reeve Superman series into the moon, fist by fist, until it's covered up by moon dust.
I like that mental image of all of us just wailing on him to put it away, sealing away the danger for everyone else.
I like the image of the four of us buried up to our necks on the moon. It'd be a real good album cover.
Yeah, being forced to watch Superman 4. Like a TV set up in front of all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, tears.
If this kind of weird rambling is your thing, please subscribe and share that rambling with others, because otherwise we're just rambling to each other and letting randos hear our rambling. You can be a rando too, that's fine.
Reminds me of The Simpsons. We're just a bunch of old men yelling at clouds. That's all it feels like.
It is.
Some days.
And next time, I guarantee there'll be a lot less yelling at clouds as we switch up our heroes from a Superman to a ripped, muscly man with guns by washing away the memory of this last movie with an iconic 80s masterpiece of Commando.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, so then we could yell about Literal Cloud. Actually, I don't know if he's in that movie.
He's not. Advent Children has nothing to do with Final Fantasy VII.
It's been ages since I've seen that.
I
Yep.
remember everybody being angry about that.
That's why I don't remember it, I guess. It was pretty.
But anyway, come back next time when we rewind again.
I'm so glad you picked something other than Brazil.
I didn't have my order in yet. I have to order it.